Hey guys, welcome to episode number 452. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday. It's also the first day of spring, and I thought I would take this opportunity to figure out what I'm going to do with this giant mess over here. Spring cleaning is upon us, and I encourage everyone to spring clean their fish rooms. And for me, that means organizing all of my PVC pipes and all of my leftover DIY supplies and figuring out what needs to be tossed, what needs to be organized, and how I can best consolidate my fish room equipment. Obviously, the focus here for this week is also going to be on getting this fry rack up and running. You guys gave me a lot of great suggestions on how I can fix my issues, and I went ahead and got all of the PVC parts that I need to fix it. I'll go into more detail on Wednesday's video when we actually repair this and get it operational. But essentially, I think the first step is I'm going to restrict the flow with a valve going into this tank, which will allow me to create back pressure in this line. And when I swap out these 1/4-inch lines for 1/2-inch PVC lines, I can then drill and tap 1/4-inch valves above each one of these tanks so that I have plenty of back pressure filling the lines, and then just a short amount of 1/4-inch line dripping into each one of these tanks. It will allow me to get the pressure I need. It will also allow me to avoid any clogging of those lines. And if they do get clogged, I think it's gonna be a lot easier to fix that problem. Worst case scenario is this pump is not able to create enough back pressure for that to work, in which case Wednesday's video might be another fail, and we might need to go get a second pump, a dedicated pump, to pump water up to that system. Other than that, the other thing that I want to do, like I said, was focus on this wall, clean up this wall, and figure out what the next step might be for this wall. Not saying it's going to happen, but an idea that I've had in my head for a very long time is to create a lowboy rack. And what I would do is use a shelving unit, sort of like this, maybe not this exact one, but a shelving unit which would allow me to install Zoomed lowboy tanks. And I've got my drain line right here. I could easily extend that along this wall, and I might be able to incorporate this wall into the fish room at some point in the future. And I think Zoomed lowboy tanks would be a perfect idea for a system like that. If you guys don't know, lowboy tanks they're designed for reptiles. They're also designed for planted tanks and frag tanks. They have really unique dimensions which lend themselves to being placed directly on shelving units similar to this. Specifically, I think the 4-foot shelving units or the 8-foot shelving units. This happens to be a 6-foot shelving unit, but it works basically because the dimensions fit perfectly on shelving units like this out of the box, so you can just set it up, drop them in, and go. And the 50-gallon lowboy tanks are 2 feet front to back. They're 4 feet long, and they only have 10 inches of height to them, which allows you to get probably 3, maybe 4 stacked on top of each other on a shelf similar to this, which is a great use of space. And it's something that I think would be perfect for setting up invertebrate breeding tanks. Things like snails, crayfish, shrimp. They suffer from the same problems as turtles do, in a way, in that they need a lot of surface area. The more swimming room that these turtles have, length by width, the better. And they're not as concerned about the depth of the water as some other animals might be. Like fish, for instance, if you've got angelfish, they like tall tanks. It's just what they like, and they don't feel comfortable in low or shallow amounts of water. However, invertebrates, like turtles in this tank, they need more surface area. Shrimp are always on the bottom for the most part. Crayfish are on the bottom. Snails, they're climbing all over the place, but they're primarily on the surfaces of the tank. So the larger the surface area is, the more animals you can fit in an area or in a tank. And so with lowboy type tanks, it gives you more of that surface area for more of those animals, and it allows you to put more of them in a smaller footprint, especially if you're using a commercially available shelving unit, metal shelving unit. So that's the idea. Again, it's not going to happen immediately, but it's something that I'm toying with in my head, and I hope at some point I can get around to doing something like that. But I think it would be great to have sort of species specific invertebrate breeding tanks, and I think that would be the perfect way to do it. And if you've watched this far in the video, a little bird did tell me that ZooMed may be releasing a 10-gallon version of the lowboy tank. And essentially what that would look like is it would fit, again, perfectly on shelving units like this. And the dimensions are something that you can't find commercially available right now. And it would probably be something like 2 feet deep, so it could fit on the shelf just the same way, by 1 foot wide, by probably 8 inches tall. So again, you could probably fit 3 or 4 shelves of those stacked up on top of each other, which would mean on a 6-foot shelf I might be able to get 6 tanks on a single shelf. If it was an 8-foot rack, 8 tanks, 4-foot rack, 4 tanks. So that's the idea. I'm really excited to see if that comes to fruition, because I will certainly be one of the first customers for a product like that, because I'm looking for easier ways, simpler ways to do things all of the time. So anyways guys, hope you enjoyed that update for today, and I'll see you guys later.